Hey everyone, welcome to Thursday and the Coffee Run Live coming at ya. First and foremost, we are speaking today all about the importance of structure. And for me, how having that structure actually helps me to get into the flow of my writing. So I'm going to share that with you. Before we do that, I would also love to remind you that we have got our Into the Spotlight launch party happening tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. Now, get yourself registered. It will be streamed live in here, but if you are wanting to, it didn't work, but if you are wanting to get on the lucky draw prizes and shenanigans, then you've got to be registered and you've got to be on there live. So it will be streamed through here. Now, one of the things that I was thinking with this is, how can we make this, how can we make it fun? Right? Like typically, if we were to think about the launching of a book, we would be together in a function room, there'd be some speeches, we'd toast you all, share some fun stories, and then we'd get to mingle. So, and I think one of the really cool things with that type of thing is that we've got in person, you've got the ability to be able to kind of chat with other people and learn a bit about them as well. So what we're going to try tomorrow is seeing how we can make it so that you get a really similar experience, but you get to meet my family, you get to have fun, you get to meet each other, and generally it's a really good freaking excuse, I think, to get dressed up and have champagne, particularly if you are in lockdown, which we are. So that's that. You can see the link in the comments there and get yourself registered for the party. Also, we've got for the rest of August, we've got the buy one, get one free offers. I would love it. And I'd really need your help to get this onto the bestseller list, to get this very fabulous book that's been 18 months in the making. It would be really amazing if we could get that on the bestsellers list, but I need your help with that. So if you are willing to buy a copy of Into the Spotlight, you can go to my website, nicolamoras.com.au/ITS launch. And you can grab your own copy, send me a copy of the receipt from Booktopia, and I will send you a bonus copy in the mail for free. So get into all of that on there. So now that is all out of the way, I wanted to talk to you about the importance of structure in your writing and how that creates the space for flow. Something that I learned and have continued to learn for a really long time is the power of discipline, but also the power of relying on the frameworks, if you like, in order to be able to get my thinking out. Now, as you're coming on here this morning, please say hello. It would be very nice to see you. Hey Kirsty, good evening, not good morning to you. It is, I think it's like the middle of the night, isn't it? So structure creates flow for me. Discipline creates freedom. And those two things are really important. So for me, the thing that I'll do, and I know I've spoken to you a lot about this, is I've got my very fantastic planner that sits right here with me all the time. And I work through that. That gives me structure. And I guess part of the thing with this is that I am probably like yourself. Hey, Tisha from New Zealand. Yay. Hope you guys are doing okay with your new lockdown that's been in place, I think. Hope you're doing all right. Thanks for coming on. So the thing for me is that if similar to you perhaps, I have all of these great ideas and I often have really great ideas regularly all the time. I am an idea machine. And it's both a blessing and a curse, right? The blessing is that there's always things to do. The downside to that is if I follow the track of the shiny thing, then I end up being absolutely I get distracted, right? And then nothing gets completed. Kirsty, I thought it was the middle of the night. You and the hubby are still up, loving your lives, showing you, well, hello, husband, you must be very amazing. So the thing for me is that I need a way of being able to get finished the things that I need to get finished, right? So that might be content, it might be articles, it could be blogs, it could be filming, it could be like the coaching and the mentoring stuff. That's no worries, because that gets booked straight into my schedule and bang, you know, as soon as the clock hits the time that I'm supposed to be on that session, bang, you know, I am on it. I am a bit of a stickler for time in that sense. But the other thing that I've found for me is that I really need to have these frameworks in place in order to get my things finished, because I am notorious for creating new things and then not bringing them to completion, which then doesn't help you, because all of these great ideas that I have end up being on post-it notes and pieces of paper and everywhere around my desk. I've got a cupboard. You guys have probably got this as well. I've got notebooks in my storage cupboard here, in my closet here, that notebooks filled with ideas that have never actually been actioned. So that's really unhelpful, because then they can't get put into, they don't get created, that you don't get to see them, you don't get to learn from them, you don't then get to go and get the results that would have created for you. So I really need structure, not only in my day, but also in my writing. So this is something that I wanted to share with you today that I thought would be kind of fun. Now, let me just open up. I'm just going to open up my browser. I'm going to type a couple of things in here for you. So as you are, I guess, as you're thinking about the things that you want to create and the things that you want to write, some of the things that often get in people's way are you've got all of these ideas and you don't know how to get them out there, or you have these ideas and then you get distracted and you don't go and put them out there. And, you know, it's just really, it's unhelpful. So the thing that we need to do with your thoughts is, we know that when you put your things out on the internet, we know that that is going to attract people to you, right? Or repel them, right? Either way, and that's totally fine, because the people who love you will love you and the people who don't will not, and that doesn't really matter. So what I wanted to share with you is a structure for your content. And here's what it's going to look like. What you need to know first and foremost is the answer to this question. What problem are you solving with this piece, spelling Nicola, of content? So what problem are you solving with this piece of content? Now, in order to know what problem you're solving, you need to know who you're talking to. Okay, so if you're talking to entrepreneurs who have got all of these crazy ideas and they don't actually ever get anything done, then, you know, that's what I know, that you are all amazing, creative, aligned, brilliant, freaking awesome people of agents of transformation. Let's call you. You are agents of transformation. And the downside is that you can get distracted with your stuff, or you put it in a notebook and then the notebook gets filed and the things never get actioned. So the problem that I'm solving with this particular live stream is your ideas not getting out into the world. Now, when your ideas don't get out into the world, it means that you don't get to help the people that you are here to help, right? Which is really sad, because they need you. They need your solution. So when you know the answer to that question, what problem am I solving with this piece of content, then it's time to decide, well, how are you going to put it out there? I think that's a really important thing. The next important question to answer is, how are you going to put it out there? Now, you might be putting it out there in the form of a book, a blog, a live stream. It could be a workshop. It could be a singing video. It could be a TikTok. However it is that you are going to put this out there, you need to know that first and foremost, because the way that you then create the structure will vary depending on how you do it. The overall framework is similar, but here's what you need to now know. What story, actually, let's say what topic are you going to talk into? Okay, so what topic, again with the spelling, this is how you know we're doing this on the fly. So what topic are you going to talk into? So for this instance, we know that we've got the all of the stuff all over everywhere. I know who I'm talking to. I'm going to put it out there on a live stream, and I'm going to talk into this topic of content creation. So the fourth thing that you need to know is, what are the 3 points that you want to share with your audience? Now, my tripod is in the way. This can vary. So what are the 3 points that you want to share with your audience? So this could be, make sure that you create time and space for this. It could be that you get really clear on what your objective is. It could be that you just need to tools down. You know, what are the 3 points that you're going to talk into? Step number 5 that I want you to think about is, what is the story that you are going to share? So for instance, I know that for me, when I was first starting to create content, I would make sure that I always had a post-it note next to me. I can give you an example actually, because I still do this now. I'll have a post-it note next to me, depending on how I'm doing it, and usually I do my stuff on videos, which will have the 3 main points and the story that I'm going to share. So hang on a sec. Let me show you this, because I think, don't go anywhere. Don't leave me. And then please, as you're listening, let me know that this is helpful, because that would be helpful for me. Okay. So 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I delivered a keynote address to a very amazing group of allied health professionals at a conference at Guatemala, the owner, CEO of private practice success here in Australia. She's a multi CEO person. She's an amazing human. And I delivered a keynote session for her. And I had my computer set up. I had boxes of folders sitting on my desk so that I could stand up. So it was sitting at the right height. So my computer was sitting at the right height, because I was on Zoom and sharing slides and stuff like that. So what I had on my little post-it note, sitting just underneath my computer, were the 3 problems that people have. Right, so you can see that here. So the first problem was the fear of failure. So these are the 3 points that I wanted to address. The fear of failure, the fear of being found out, that one of the biggest fears that people have is that, and this is whether you're an allied health practitioner, or whether you're an entrepreneur, or whether you're a business owner, whether you're a hobbyist, a lot of the time we can feel like we are not qualified to do what we do, no matter how much experience you have in your industry, whether you've got a truckload of letters after your name, or whether you have 0 letters after your name, whether you're 18 years old or whether you're 68 years old. The fear of being found out is that fear of being a fraud, right? The fear of somebody thinking that you're just not good enough. So I talked into that. And the third thing was the fear of judgment. Then I've also got the stories up here that I was going to talk about. So this talks into number 5, which is the story that you're going to share. So I've got singing to the crops, never fitting in. I didn't fit in, you guys, like really anywhere. And then Westpac, small town, 12 years. Okay, so I worked for Westpac for 12 years. Loved it. I actually loved it. It was really hard to leave my job. So the thing that I have is I have a post-it note, like I said, often, even to this very day, with what it is that I'm going to talk about. So we've got the problem you're going to address, the medium in which you're going to put it out there. We're going to look at the topic that you're going to talk about, the 3 points that you want to share with your audience, and the story that you are going to share with them. So in this example, the story that I share with you was my keynote for the Elevate conference. So the next thing that you want to think about when you're getting your stuff ready, when you're getting your content ready, is what steps are you going to recommend that your audience take? Okay, so if this was me, and this is me, but if this was me and I was like, okay, so how do we do this? then the thing that I would do is like you say, okay, you guys, there are 3 things that you need to do right now. Number 1, I want you to sit and brainstorm as many topics as you possibly can that you can talk about with your audience. So it could be mindset, energy, working out, nutrition, relationships, love, coffee, how to create products for your business. It might be how to stay motivated. It might be how to deal with your kids in ISO life, what your routines look like. Any topic, if you know that your audience are struggling with something or they're challenged by something, or they have a goal, a dream, a desire to achieve something, that can be your topic. Now, your audience needs to have either problems or goals that you can help them with, otherwise you're useless to them, okay? So the problem that most of my people have is, how do I step into the spotlight? Is how do I stand out from the crowd? It's how do I scale my business? It's how do I make more money? How do I do more courses? How do I reach the people? How do I connect and engage? What the fuck do I pay attention to? How do you even create a course? How do you deal with tech? How do you build funnels? That's a lot of problems, but all of the underlying things that are underneath that is that most people are like, but I don't know how to do any of that, and I don't feel like I'm really that different to everybody else. So in your industry, so they're the problems. The goals, the dreams and desires that I know that you guys all have is that you want freedom. You want the freedom to be able to build and grow and scale your business the way that you want to do it, without the bullshit, without having to do stuff that you don't like, without having to work with people that you don't like, and you want to do things in your way, and you just want the confidence to know that it's actually going to fucking work, right? So they're the things that you want, the freedom, you want the choice to be able to do this in the way that you want to be able to do it. You want to make more money so that you can have impact. You want to help empower more people to get what they want. You either want to heal, or you want to motivate, or you want to counsel, or you want to make people's lives better. That's what makes you guys agents of transformation. So I know all of that, right? I know the challenges to that, which a lot of it is mindset, and as we've discussed, I know what your goals and dreams and desires are, and it might vary. Some of you want to do big stage events, and other people just want to work from the tiniest possible place that you could possibly work from, so that you don't have to actually be with people, particularly if you're an introvert, so that you can do what it is that you want to be able to do. So if we know those things, and I know the stories that I'm going to tell you in the piece of content that I'm creating, then all I need to now do is prescribe the 3 things that you need to do in order to be able to take that step forward. So that's what you're looking for. And then the number 7 thing is, what's the call, spelling, what is the call to action? Hey, Bonnie. So your call to action, once you've gone through all of this, people really need to know what the heck they need to do now. So, for example, and this is a blatant example, if you want to know how to create some structure in your world, stand out, be seen, and be different, you need to buy my book. You can go to the website and you can buy that. That is a very overt call to action. A softer call to action might be, follow me on social media, make sure you sign up for my emails, make sure you go and download this free thing that I've put together for you. Once you've told people what they need to do, you still need to give them a call to action, okay? And that's the bit that most people go at, because you don't want to be salesy, you don't want to be pushy, but here's the thing. If people don't know what they need to do next, when somebody else comes into their awareness and says, hey, if you've been having these problems and you want this thing, then this is what you need to do. And by the way, I've got this course that you can buy, or by the way, I've got this book that you can buy, or by the way, I've got this event you can come to, or by the way, I've got this coffee mug that you can get, they will go and buy from them. And then you've kind of done all of this hard fucking work of building people up, building the connection, helping them realize that they've actually got a really big problem that you can solve for them. And then they'll go and spend with other people. Imagine there's some of the things that people might say to you is like, treat your audience like they're 3 years old. And I think that's really disrespectful. And on the other hand, it kind of makes sense. Like if you don't tell your kids, like treat them like a 12-year-old. Like my son will say to him every morning, have you brushed your teeth? No. Okay, go brush your teeth. You know, he knows what he needs to do, but he doesn't go and do it until we tell him what to do. So we want to, maybe that's just a 12-year-old boy thing, I don't know. But if we imagine that our audience are so wrapped up in the content that you're sharing and they're like, yes, 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 and then you don't tell them what the next thing is, it's like going to a restaurant and you're looking at the menu and then nobody comes back to take your order. You end up being left wanting, and that's not cool. So following a framework like this helps you then, and you don't have to do this in the order in which I've typed them up in here. All right, you can do this in any order in which you choose. But if you want to really have some structure that helps you to go, all right, well, it helps you to get into some imagination, imagination time, bad English, you get, this is why I have a book editor. It helps you to step into an imaginary kind of place where you're like, all right, so what story could I tell? And you can sit and you can, think of something and then you're like, oh yeah, that would be a great story. And then that creates flow for you. When you're getting into the 3 points of what they're worried about or what you're going to share, then it's the type of thing where you can go, okay, wow, these are the things that I could do. This is what's worked really well. This is a story I can tell. Again, it means that when you tick all of these things off, you've covered everything. And then the rest of it is up to you to flow and to play and to imagine how amazing and how fun it can be and all of that kind of thing. The other thing that happens is it also helps your audience to get results in advance. And this is really, really cool. So the results in advance is where your audience get a breakthrough or they achieve an outcome before they have even spent 1 red cent with you, or less than, or more than. Before they spend any money with you, they can see that you know what you're talking about. Remember we were talking before about the fear of failure and that imposter syndrome and worrying about not having enough qualifications. There's 1,000,001 freaking coaches on the internet. There's 1,001 mental health professionals. There's all of this kind of stuff. Like, how the hell are you supposed to stand out? Well, provide results in advance. Share your knowledge, share your wisdom. You don't have to diagnose, because that wouldn't be appropriate. You don't have to diagnose through what you're doing, but you can say, hey, if you've experienced similar problems to this, or if you want similar things to this, then here are some things that you can do. So payoff is results in advance. The other payoff for the other payoff is that your audience listens to you and they can really trust you. They're much more likely, if they can see that your stuff works before they spend with you, they get this feeling of trust with you, right? So they can really see, again, that you're knowledgeable, that you know what you're talking about, that you can be helpful. And a lot of that stuff, hi Evie, a lot of that then starts to help them build relationships with you. And this is a big differentiator, in my opinion, my humble opinion of the last more than 10 years of doing this. This is the key differentiator between you and everybody else in your industry. If you are willing to do this and you're willing to show up and you're willing to put your money where your mouth is, despite the fear of worrying about what other people are going to say, worrying about what your peers are going to say, getting rid of that fear of failure, getting rid of that fear of judgment, getting rid of all of that. And you're just like, I'm going to get out there, I'm going to freaking help some people, and I'm going to help them get some results in advance. They will trust you. Hey, Linda, they will trust you. They will build a relationship with you, and you don't have to be doing this one-on-one. So I know that there are a lot of you that come through here, and I know that you listen and I know that you're engaged, even if you don't ever comment, because you'll come and tell me later that you've been following me for years and finally you've bought something, or you message me talking about how helpful that particular live stream was, or how helpful that blog was, or how insightful the framework might have been, or how cool that template that I gave you was. So whilst you might not engage with me in here in the comments, which I do love, and it breaks my heart when you don't, but even if you're not doing that, the thing that I always know is that I'm always here to offer the results in advance. I'm always here to help you. I'm always here to answer your questions, even before you buy from me. And then when you buy from me, it's even more fun and you get more from me. And it will be the same with your audience as well. So it's just really important, if you're following this type of structure, framework versus structure. If you're following this kind of framework, it creates a space for flow for you. It creates a space for you to be able to build trust, and it really helps for you to be able to create that establishing of your authority in your industry. So that is what I wanted to talk to you about today. So if you follow those steps, if I'm following my own framework, go back if you're just joining us, make sure you go back and have a listen to the steps that we talked about and work through those, right? That's your first thing. The second thing is make sure that you register for our book launch party tomorrow night. If you've been feeling like a lot of us have been feeling in this last week and a half, really flat, a bit disengaged, a little bit lethargic, maybe you've been feeling the weight of COVID and all the other shenanigans that have been going on in the world, which we don't need to list them all because it is a lot. If you want just a bit of a break, then come and hang out with us at 5 o'clock tomorrow night, Sydney time, for the Into the Spotlight launch party. I'm really excited. I'm doing everything that I can to make it a really fun evening. You'll learn more about me, you'll learn more about the book, you'll learn more about the process of how I wrote the book, and then how you can obviously apply that into your own worlds as well. So that's happening tomorrow night. The other thing that I would very, very humbly ask is if you've enjoyed anything that I've shared with you over time, please buy the Into the Spotlight book, buy it through Booktopia, and that way and send me a copy of the receipt and I will send you a bonus copy. I would love to make this a bestseller, and I can't do it on my own, and my stomach goes even asking you for help. I would really, really greatly appreciate it. It doesn't take huge amounts of copies to be bought for us to hit the bestseller lists, the legitimate bestseller list. I'm not talking about I had to buy my own copies of the books. They don't count, right? And stuff like that. So if you'd be so kind to do that, I would very much appreciate it. And you will get a whole lot of awesome structure. And I know that book would be really helpful for you if you really need to grow your visibility over the next 12 to 18 months. So on that note, my friends, I am going to love you and leave you. I hope you have a really fantastic, awesome, and amazing Thursday. Kirsty, sleep well. I hope you get some sleep. Thanks, husband, for listening in. And I would really love it if you remembered that it is time for you to get out there, go help some people, to have fun doing it, and for you to realize that the world is so damn freaking ready for your brand of awesomeness. Take care, everyone, and I will talk to you tomorrow, if not before.